Okay, folks, that was a great video. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed doing that video immensely. I enjoyed basically the editing process, etc. Now, we're coming to the end of the evening, okay? And this is the last recorded video. And in fact, I conducted this interview, okay? And it's with my close friend, Matt Spalding, aka Matt the Rockstar. And it's where we discuss the relationship of the Irish son and the Irish mammy. And Matt is an incredible fella that I've known for the last maybe 40 plus years, and he wrote a beautiful song about his mother when she died. And those words, they were such simple words, and the tune was so beautiful. And every time I hear this song, I think of my mother. I think of mothers, okay? And I want you to enjoy this and share this with you, okay? See you then. Play the video, please. Ladies and gentlemen, with me online in the Zoom bubble is Mr. Matthew Spalding, musician, artist, chef, businessman, armchair critic, man of many talents and longtime friend of mine. Matt, how are you doing?
McKenny, how the hell are you?
I'm good, Matt. I'm good. I'm here in my log cabin up in northern Poland in the lakes. Very, very nice to be here. Very nice to see you. Very nice to be bonding with you online. But I won't.
It's unusual. It's unusual, but here we are. It's a rarity, isn't it, Mick?
I want to discuss the matter of Irish men and their mammies. Okay, the way COVID has increased the distance and difficulty and complexity of getting home to see one's aging parents. And lastly, I'd like to discuss all this relative to the wonderful song that you wrote for your mother in 1994, a tribute to your mother, because let's face it, you were the biggest mammy's boy in the whole of Howth and Sutton.
You ran me a very close second, Mick. You ran me a very close second.
Like, who loved their mammy more, you think? Okay.
We do love our mammies. I don't know whether it's just an Irish thing. I expect it's a global thing, but in Ireland we certainly place them on a very high pedestal, and they are both guardian of the morals of the home. They are guardians of the economics of the home. They're the heart of most Irish families, and my experience of fathers is that they are rarely seen and they are heard even less frequently.
Did your mother ever sort of physically chastise you?
She did. She certainly did. My mother was not shy with the wooden spoon.
Oh, the wooden spoon, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because, we accept basically the Irish mammy's boy, that's fine. We sort of accept that. But in your situation, your mum died. She died 28 years ago. And you felt so motivated by it, okay, or so broken by it, let's say, that you created this song. And this song, it's like sort of a monument in stone. It's so good. So can you describe your mother, how she died, and where the song came from?
My mum fought a long, fought is the wrong word. My mum was subjected to a long battle with various cancers. Her method of dealing with it was to go into complete denial. She would not accept at all, and frequently asked, why do people keep telling me I'm dying? She was that way all the way through, and unfortunately one of the byproducts of that, or the principal byproduct, was that nobody was ever able to have that final conversation to say, thank you, Mom, or in my dad's case, to say thank you, Maureen, for the wonderful life we shared, the 5 children, the yada yada yada. So it was the end of her end was fraught with all sorts of very, very heavy duty emotions. And not long after she passed away, that song just kind of showed up, as songs do. I know that you've actually dealt with this loss over the last 28 years, and you still talk about your mother and father. Every time we talk, invariably we talk about our parents and our mothers. Mm-hmm. I think both of us are really fortunate in the parents we had, for all sorts of reasons, whether it was the obvious is the roof over your head and the full belly, but equally we were afforded, certainly you and I were afforded, a whole hell of a lot of liberty. and a whole hell of a lot of freedom. I mean, we've got to be very, very thankful to our older siblings for creating such chaos in the layer above us that we kind of slipped through the net, or perhaps below the radar, whatever analogy you want. But we certainly,
Definitely.
nobody put the brakes on you and nobody put the brakes on me, Mick Kenny.
When I listen to this song, I think about my mother, not just your mother. Okay, I think about my mother too, and I associate with the sort of son-mother, mother-son love.
Well, you know, obviously being my mother's son, I suppose there's something we have in common in that, it is not. I think I've told you once before that I never really lay claim to having written this song, and that I was more a conduit. And you know, as I said to you earlier, my family, none of us got to say goodbye to my mother. None of us. It was really difficult for everybody, you know. So the song, when it showed up, was, it feels to me more like it was a communique from her to all of us to say, you know, so long and thanks for the fish. To quote good old, what's his name, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Douglas Adams.
Okay. All right, very good. Well, listen, then can we pick on 3 lines from the song? The first one is, which I find is very descriptive. You say, "First to the garden that grows in her name."
Yeah. Well, I think anybody who's even got a remote interest in gardening is aware of the cyclical nature, the winter of death, and then the rebirth of spring, and the full bloom of summer, and then the decay of old age in autumn. So it kind of, not only is it apt, appropriate, but she was an avid gardener. All of my family would have been tucked into the garden at some point or another during our lives, living in our home in Sutton. We were all actively involved. We had to be. That was part of your weekly chores.
The songs that you gave us for the times that were sad.
My mum was a musician herself, and so and I know perhaps that's where I picked up my habit. I sing my way through situations. If, you know, something happens, I'll find a song that suits the moment and I'll just blurt out. My mother was very similar. She would, you know, you walked into the kitchen and say, "What's for dinner, Mum?" And she'd go, "Hey, good looking, what you got cooking?" You know, it was always a song for everything that happened, you know. So, you know, the songs that you gave for times were sad, but equally she gave songs that were for great moments.
And then the last one, which is very strong, because it sort of has a childish theme to it almost. It's "Coming for you, ready or not." And when it appears in the song, of course, I know what it is. Basically, sort of death is dawning, okay? And you said, and she said she's not ready to go. Like, it's, "I'm coming for you, ready or not." You know, it's,
yeah.
And the Grim Reaper is basically around the corner, and he's coming for you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, again, like as I've said, and I'm not trying to be all kind of arty or whatever, but I can't really lay in complete claim to having written the song. It just channeled through me some way, and her reluctance to accept her fate. She would not have a bar of the fact that she was dying. She wouldn't hear it.
Amazing.
It was really, really difficult for her to having been a dedicated church type and a dedicated Catholic, for her God to abandon her. And she took that really, really, really personally, and abandoned religion there and then on the spot.
Well, I suppose, listen, it's 28 years since she died, okay? How are you feeling today? I mean...
How am I feeling today? Well, I lost my father 7 years ago, and, you know, having, you know, very young to lose your mother, and in particular, I had an enormous relationship with her. And I personally don't think I've ever been the same human being since the day I got a phone call from my father to say, "Your mother has terminal cancer." It changed me that second irrevocably, and I've been looking for me ever since.
Wow. Okay. Well, listen, right. So Do you think you could enter into our private studio? Maybe, you know, put on your spandex trousers, clean your hair, you know, bit of makeup, change your clothes, and play us the tune. What do you reckon?
Sounds like a very, very, very fine idea, Michael. Thank you so much for having me. I hope you all have a very good St. Patrick's Day.
Thanks very much. Good to see you, Spuds. Be in touch. Bye, bye, bye.
1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. It's for all the mums. Always a teacher and always a friend. Always a giver of life to give to the end. And most of us wanted to know you by name. Hold to your center like moths to a flame, leaving nobody saying goodbye, leaving nobody saying remember good times. You're the heart of a lover, a friend and a mother, two sisters and brothers, and second to none. First to the garden that grows in your name. Spring follows winter and it all starts again. The songs that you gave for the times that were sad, memories haunt me, the best times we had, even nobody saying goodbye, even nobody saying remember good times. You're the heart of a lover, a friend and a mother, two sisters and brothers, and second to none.
Watching them packing your bags, gently saying it's so. Coming for you, ready or not, you're not ready to go. Leaving nobody saying goodbye, leaving nobody saying remember good times. You're the heart of a lover, a friend and a mother, two sisters and brothers, and second to none. Leaving nobody saying
I love you, Mama.